Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin. It's Monday. That means we're going to be continuing on with our series review Monday. Still focusing on Shrek. This time we're going to be doing the 2004 sequel, Shrek 2. You find this a lot, I feel, with animated movies. The movies don't get worse. They may not get better necessarily, but they don't usually get worse. However, I think as good as Shrek is, Shrek 2 might be better. It's hard because, obviously I love John Lithgow and he was fantastic as Lord Farquaad in the first one, but you still have your returning Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz. So you have your core group, and you lose John Lithgow, but you gain Antonio Banderas, who plays the character Puss in Boots. And Puss in Boots, in his own right, is a fantastic character, and he's so funny and likable. I mean, he has that those scenes where he looks at you with those eyes that are supposed to be irresistible, and Antonio Banderas just has that voice, that he's got that his voice is incredible. He's a fantastic actor in his own right, but that voice is just it's charming, and that's it's such a appealing voice. So you lose Lithgow, but you gain Antonio Banderas. That's a great trade-off. What I really like about the movie is it has that adult, that adult aspect to it that makes allows for adults to enjoy it. I mean, Mike Myers' character Shrek and Cameron Diaz's character Fiona are now married, and they go through a lot of the issues that married couples go through. Mike Myers has a hard time. He wants to be the best husband he can be, and he's always gonna, he fears his in-laws, in a sense. You always want to make your in-laws proud of you. You want your in-laws to feel that their daughter is going to be taken care of, and that's what is so good about the movie. Is it's just so realistic for adults. You have more of the same, the humor involving, famous fictional characters like Pinocchio, the Three Little Pigs, the Big Bad Wolf. You have the fairy godmother, who actually is the villain of the movie, which is great. It's hilarious, because you just wouldn't normally see that. But again, that I think allows for that adult humor that the kids still love. They may not necessarily understand it, but the adults do. And that's what makes the Shrek series so appealing. You have the Muffin Man, and he brings in this jacked gingerbread man, and it's hilarious. So you have all these different elements of famous fictional stories that are so directed towards children, but in the Shrek series, they're for both adults and kids, and that's what makes it so enjoyable. You get the same dynamic. It's basically the same story. Shrek is sort of matured, but not really. He still wants to be an ogre. He likes being an ogre. But now he's got a family to be concerned about, and he still has a hard time processing that, and being the lonely ogre that lives in the woods, doesn't want anybody around him. So that continues on nicely from the first one, where he's facing new problems. He found somebody he loves, but he's always got that mindset of an ogre, of I'm an ogre, I want to be alone, I like being me. But he's got somebody else to care about, and he has to worry about what she likes. as well. And that's, again, more of that adult realism. So I love that aspect of Shrek 2. The two best parts, the two funniest parts, again, this movie's probably as good, if not better, than the first Shrek, just because of, it continues that nice narration that you get from the first one, and it adds in humor, some hilarious scenes in the movie. One involves a parody of American Idol, and they actually brought Simon Cowell in for Far, Far Away Idol. That's where Fiona's parents live, is the Far, Far Away land. And it's hilarious, just because it's a mocking. At the time, American Idol was huge, and I love that they incorporate that. And also, at the end of the movie, Eddie Murphy's donkey, who in the first movie fell in love with the dragon, they are now married, and they have hybrid donkey-dragon children, and it's just a riot. It's hilarious. And it's just such a fun movie. Based on all that, the movie the series, when it's at a high, it doesn't dip with part 2. It really doesn't. It stays there. It might even go up a little bit. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7.9. I think it's a little better. It's a little better just because, and maybe it's not overall a better movie, but because of how good it is, it gets graded better, because a lot of times you see a dip in a sequel. This one doesn't dip. It maintains the humor, nice storyline that, isn't too jumpy. It continues nicely with the first one, and that's what makes it such an enjoyable movie. So Shrek 2, 7.9. Series is rolling. Great movie with part 1, great movie with part 2. We'll see what next week brings when we review Shrek 3. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.